Esto es Bibliohertz,
el espacio donde encontrarás herramientas para la búsqueda de información y conocimiento desde tu biblioteca.
Bibliohertz, del libro a la radio.
Hi, welcome to another astonished day of this conference cycle in Bibliohertz from the book to the radio. We begin this program with all the excitement and energy of being with all of you once again. So we want to say a special thanks to Radio Anáhuac for broadcasting all the cycle conference and giving us this space. Also to the sound engineers on the booth that is right outside here that are helping us with the controls, and to our production team, Nancy Medellin, our library director, Maestro Ricardo Zamora, our boss, Angelica Luna, and thanks for the support for all the team we have in the library. I am here with Tania. How are you today?
Hi, Sam. I'm extremely happy to be here once again. And as you have seen in our social media, we have been having this series of conferences with the different suppliers of the most important electronic resources for libraries. And we are glad to announce that on Monday, we've just booked another interview just for you. So stay tuned for more details. We maybe are going to say a little details along the program. And you can find this all live on our Facebook page at Bibliohertz and through the 1670 AM on Radio Anáhuac. And remember to see this amazing interview that we're going to have on Monday at 2 p.m. at Mexico time. So let's begin with this amazing talk.
So before beginning, we want to get to know what we're going to talk about today. So for instance, let's get to know what is Mcgraw-Hill. So it provides educational content, book, platform, customized solution for education, and from pre-kindergarten through graduate school. So Mcgraw-Hill is going to offer product and services for more than 135 countries in more than 60 languages. So we're going to talk a little bit about Mcgraw-Hill, and who is going to be better to talk about it than Amanda Peck, who is the Vice President in sales in Mcgraw-Hill. So let's get to know a little bit more about her.
Hello. Hi, Samantha. Hi, Tanya. Hi. What a privilege it is to be joining you today.
Thank you. Thank you to you to be here with us. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about you so our audience can get to know you better?
Oh, okay then. Well, firstly, it's a real pleasure to be here. And before I start talking about me, I just want to say that to all of your students and all of your instructors and staff, you know, who've lived through the last 20 months of complete and utter turmoil for all of us, but particularly, I think, for those of you who are learning, you know, well done for getting through it and to getting to this point. And I know it's not all over, but I am sure that as the coming months pass, things will sort of get a little bit back to normal for you all. So yes, my name is Amanda Peck. I am Vice President of Mcgraw-Hill's professional business, and I'll talk a little bit more about what that means later. I have been in the education technology industry for far too many years that I can possibly admit to, but a long time. And so my focus has always been working on behalf of the education world, working with companies that build technology and content in order to provide resources for teachers to teach and students to learn. So over 25 years, I won't go any further than that. I joined Mcgraw-Hill almost 5 years ago now, and it was my first time joining a publishing company, and a US publishing company. So it was a new thing for me. And I joined them because they have such a wonderful reputation in the world of education. And they're also a global company. And I wanted very much to learn more about how education worked in countries all around the world, and to provide, I suppose, my experience into the company, which was very much on technology and how education, learning through technology is how it works. At the time, Mcgraw-Hill was still very much publishing textbooks, which is how everybody knows Mcgraw-Hill. But they were very much on the pathway to really creating a lot of digital-based learning and teaching resources. So my experience and my background in that was one of the reasons why I joined Mcgraw-Hill, to help them in that digital transformation for their education and learning resources.
Thank you, Amanda. And for those that don't know, Amanda was telling, and we know that she has spent more than 25 years working in this education sector for edtech companies, and she has a long experience that she's going to talk about the whole interview. And she has been designing and implementing a wide range of education technology programs. And currently, for the ones that don't know, well, she has been in symposiums, in education forums, and she resides in the UK and splits her time between her home and her office in New York. So what it's like this type of work, you have both places, UK, and then you have your office in New York. How this has been?
Oh gosh, yes. Well, before the global pandemic hit, I used to spend 1 week every month in my office in New York with my US-based team. The rest of the time I work remotely from my home, which is about 30 minutes drive outside of London. And I traveled a lot. So I have a team that's based in many, many countries around the world. And I would often spend my time traveling between various different parts of the world, working with my team in that local region, supporting them. And so, yes, I did a lot of air miles, but it all changed in February last year. And so I really spent most of my time in the last 20 months working out of my home from a bedroom that was converted into an office. As my 2 children have grown up and left home, I was lucky enough to have a spare room that I could turn into an office. And I've spent many, many hours, as I'm sure you have as well, on Zoom with all of my staff working, through this virtual medium, which has been great. Very good that we had that facility, but I think that there's nothing better than being with people, to collaborate and to learn and to watch and observe, as well as to build good relationships. There's only so much you can do on Zoom, but I'm looking forward now to being able to return to a little bit of travel, maybe not as much as I used to do, but to actually start to visit universities just like Anáhuac and to meet my staff again. And I look forward to that time.
Thank you, Amanda, for sharing all this joy that you have spent at your home with the home office. But before we start this interview, we have another special guest. He's our library director, Mr. Ricardo Zamora, who wants to give you a little warm welcome to this program.
Thank you, Tania. Welcome, Amanda. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us in this 4th program of the series, Conociendo a los Vicepresidentes de las mejores empresas proveedoras de recursos digitales. Your participation is a great honor for the Anáhuac University Library. Because we don't have a lot of time, I leave you with our presenters, Samantha and Tanya. Ladies, you may begin. Bye, Amanda.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Ricardo.
Nice to meet you, Amanda.
Thank you, Mr. Ricardo. And Amanda, you were telling us about your life as home office right now, right? But why not? You can tell us a little bit about the story of Mcgraw-Hill. Where and where did it all start? And which are its main objectives of Mcgraw-Hill?
Oh, that's a great question and a wonderful place to start. Mcgraw-Hill is over 130 years old. Can you believe it? That is an old company, and it's been its one focus has always been on education. So it is a 133-year-old publishing company that's only ever really focused on education, and it focuses on every aspect of education, every age group of education. So everywhere, everything from kindergarten, so K-12, all the way through to lifelong learning and everything in between. So there is not a age group, there is not a subject or discipline or speciality that Mcgraw-Hill doesn't support or cover with its content across the whole of the education profile. So our mission is to ensure that every learner reaches their true potential. And I think that's a wonderful mission to have, because, whether the learner's potential is to, be the best doctor that there could be, whether it's to be the best engineer, the best teacher, the best historian. What Mcgraw-Hill is all about is trying to make sure that at the fingertips of those instructors and at the fingertips of those students is access to the very, very best learning materials, courseware, reference materials, textbooks, all sorts of different resources. So it's a very, very important to Mcgraw-Hill that we provide the very, very best quality, and we have. So we are in over 100 countries. So we provide universities and schools and students with content in over 100 countries around the world. A lot of our content is translated into 65 or more languages, which really makes it very accessible around the world. And that's why we're so well known, right? We're so well known because we really are everywhere. And we're well known because we have very, very high quality education content.
Thank you, Amanda. And yes, it's sure, because we remember, we are not too old, but when we were in kinder or in high school and in secondary, all of this, we remember these books of Mcgraw-Hill in our English classes. So they were physics books, and they have all types of books. So it was really good. And now to use them on the university and as a tool for researchers, it's really interesting and really good how the evolution of Mcgraw-Hill has gone. But let's talk a little bit about this role, talking about technology. What is the role of technology for Mcgraw-Hill? Because it's going to be either is outside or inside the home. How is going to be that technology is having this connection between a student and the teacher? Why is technology important for Mcgraw-Hill?
Oh, that's another great question, Samantha. Thank you for that. It's hard to believe, isn't it, with a 133-year-old publishing company, but actually most of what we do now is digital. We have turned this super tanker of a company that's steeped in publishing print-based product or print books like you used when you were in high school. And now more than half of all of the resources that we provide are electronic. And, electronic, either we've taken a textbook and turned that into an ebook in its simplest form, or we've moved all the way down the technology line to produce what we'd call AI-enabled learning platforms. So these are highly intelligent systems that provide and steer the student through a course, learning about what they know and presenting them with content that suits whatever their learning level is at, and then monitoring that progress and assessing that student and taking them through the course in a very sort of intelligent way. So we've got everything now from a simple ebook all the way through to AI enabled learning platforms and everything in between. So technology now is really the only way to be able to deliver effective resources to the learner. Now, that's not to say that a book is no longer important, because it absolutely is fundamental. The book was an extraordinary technology in its day, and still to this day provides more students with access to knowledge around the world than anything else. So, the power of a book is extremely strong. But we're also now in a very connected world, in a very digital world, where the demands of young people are that they can access learning for themselves in any format they want. They want to be able to access it immediately. They don't want to go hunting for it. They don't want to have to go buy it. They want to be able to click a button on their phone or on their laptop and be able to go straight to the information they want to find. So what's really great about technology is that it allows you to take a whole textbook, which, let's be honest, nobody ever reads a whole textbook now, do they? Nobody starts on page 1 and reads all the way through to page 200. What technology enables you to do is dive into that book, dive into that topic or that content, and go grab the piece of information that you're really looking for, because either you're working on a particular topic or you're researching something. You don't want to be spending lots and lots of time trying to find the information you're looking for. And that is why technology is becoming so important in education, because it's about pace, it's about speed, it's about getting to the information as quickly, as easily as you possibly can in a format that's accessible to whether you're using a mobile phone to do it, whether you've got your earplugs plugged in like me and you want to listen to it while you're jogging or on the bus. You want to be able to get access to that educational learning moment wherever you want to get it. And the only way to do that is through technology.
Thank you, Amanda. So we're going to a short break on the radio, and we're going to continue with this chat that has been amazing in these few minutes. So we'll be back on the radio. So we're back from this short commercial cut that we just have on the radio. And we were talking with Amanda about the important thing of having all these resources and to adapt to these challenges and technological changes that today's society demands us today. So let's continue talking with this. And Tanya wants to continue talking with Amanda. So Tan, I leave you the mic.
Thank you, Samantha. I actually really I don't know how to say it, but I actually remember when I was little, when I was at the kindergarten, actually I do remember having Mcgraw-Hill books, like the ones that has little drawing stuff and stuff. But can you share with us a little bit about these characteristics of these collections with which this electronic resource is conform, Amanda?
Yeah, of course. Let's put this in the context of your institution, right? Anáhuac, what a fantastic university, one of the top universities in the world. So, we're hugely privileged to be able to be working with such a great university. And, you mentioned, the products, the books that you used when you were very little. Obviously, we create content that supports lots of different stages within your educational career. So we have a lot of different products that support reading and writing in those early years. And then we move into much more subject-specific textbooks and content for those sort of late primary, high school years, supporting, you know, the important exams that enable you to go into university. And then when you're in university, that's when things, you know, in particular, I think become a lot more technology enabled, because, you know, independent students really want to be able to, as we said just before the commercial break, access that content in a way that's quick and easy for them, because you're really busy lives. You've got a lot of work to do within your courses. So, you know, let me talk about what we've got within your current institution. We have a digital learning platform called Access. And Access is one example of a digital solution, a digital learning solution from Mcgraw-Hill. So let's talk about Access. Access is a digital platform upon which we put lots and lots and lots and lots of education material, whether it's reference books, textbooks, things that you would have to go and buy at the bookstore yourself can be now electronically available to you on the Access platform. And our Access product is primarily for your medical students, yeah, and anyone who's supporting sort of healthcare. But we also have Access products for engineering and sciences as well. But just to give you an example, we have many versions of Access. And our most common one in your institution is Access Medicina. And Access Medicina contains hundreds and hundreds of books that are focused on teaching and learning medicine, and all different sorts and types of medicine specialism, as you can imagine. Medicine covers lots of different things, from anatomy, basic sciences, but also, you know, specializing in emergency medicine or surgery or dentistry or whatever. So these learning platforms are fantastic for students because, firstly, the institution buys them, right? Which means that as students, you don't have to buy the textbook, right? So you save money. You can just log in and you can access all of that material whenever you want, yeah, at any time. And we work very closely with your librarians, because the library within your institution is kind of, well, I think of it as the heart of the institution. It's the heart of the university, because it's there where you can go and immerse yourself in so much learning material that, you know, you could spend hours and hours and hours, you know, looking through libraries and finding the best possible content. So we have, through working with your librarians, being able to provide Anáhuac students and teachers with lots of different Access products for different areas of specialty within your medical schools. So that's a really good example, I think, of how we collect various different topics, resources, and pull them all together and put them into one area where a student can go and just look for what they need. And I think one of the things that's probably really important for me to say is that we don't get this content from anywhere. We spend a lot of time researching and sourcing the people who are at the forefront of that particular subject, who are the best minds in that particular subject area, are the thought leaders, because, you know, nothing stands still, everything changes. We need to keep abreast of what's new, so that none of the content that you have access to, none of those learning resources goes out of date. You're not learning something that, you know, was relevant 30 years ago, but is no longer relevant today. So we constantly search out those people who are the experts in a particular topic. And it could be really, really specific. like an expert in C++ programming, and we find that person and we work with that person to extract their knowledge from inside their head and to put that into a format that students and teachers and instructors can use. So it's very, very authoritative material, which means it's trusted, it's validated, and it's very relevant and very of the moment. It's very up to date, and digital versions of content allow us to update information in real time, where we couldn't with a printed book, because we'd have to wait until the author wrote a new edition to that book, and that might be 2 or 3 years later. Whereas on a digital platform like Access Medicina, we update it as and when we need to. So everything is always constantly up to date.
Yeah, and as you said, there is no such thing as a printed book, because you can smell it, you can touch it, but having also these type of resources, it's going to be a thing that it's going to help all the students that are looking for information on actual time. So it's really good to have this information so quickly, that it's relevant, that it's new. And we are going to use this opportunity to talk about these resources that the university has. So we would like to invite the entire Anáhuac community to visit our digital library, which is a place where you will find all the electronic resources that we have available on the library, including what Amanda was talking to us, the Access databases of Mcgraw-Hill. So we're going to have Access dermatology, Access surgery, Access medicine, Access medicina. We have all these different resources that are going to be really useful for your school research, for your papers, for looking for information. And we would like also to remind you that the digital library has a space called Bibliohertz, which is a space created to look for resources or services by a school of faculty. So in here, you can also contact, look the info for an assessor that it's going to be the one specialized to solve all your inquiries about these books. So it's really great what Mcgraw-Hill has been doing. And it's a pleasure that the Anáhuac University counts with this. So talking about this advance and technology, Mcgraw-Hill, you were telling us, Amanda, it's going to be the one that it's helping to create a better future through the knowledge, and the years of experience have helped them to understand how learning happens. So is there something soon to be launched on the market? What is going to go Mcgraw-Hill for in the future? Can you share that information with us?
Well, of course, I can give you some insights into that. As a technology company now, an education technology company now, if we're not constantly innovating and developing and designing, we're really not a technology company. I mean, we can't stand still. And the reason why we can't stand still is because of the demands of learners like yourselves. Because, you demand of us that, you want to be able to learn the way you want to learn. You want to be able to learn on the run. You want to be able to learn by looking at, infographics, so that, an image gives you the story rather than reading long form text. You tell us that you want to be able to, take that information and be able to listen to it instead of having to read it. You tell us that you want more animations. You tell us that you want great high quality visual images and procedural videos and all sorts of different things. So because we have to keep listening to you, because without you, we don't have a business, we don't have a business. So we listen to you really, really carefully. And that means that we've got to keep designing new stuff. And we also listen to librarians, because the librarians also know what's needed within their institution and what's being asked of them. So we have advisory boards of students, we have advisory boards of librarians, and we have them because they keep telling us that they want to change this, they want to add this, they want to do this. and we have to manage that. So it's interesting that you mentioned access dermatology, which is obviously a very sort of specialized area with medical education, learning all about the skin and treatments and conditions of the skin. And you mentioned that, and yet that is a pilot product that we have with Anáhuac. And that's why your university is so important to us as a partner, because you are one of the first institutions to be using that particular digital product. And the feedback that we get from your trialing that product is going to help us further refine and develop the solution. So, working in partnership with institutions like yourselves is incredibly important as we develop more solutions. So we continue to build out our access products, that's for sure. But I would suspect that at some point in the future, not too far away, we'll need to continue to develop more solutions, much more mobile phone enabled, right? That is much more point of use. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you really want to be able to access things in an easier format, maybe through mobile technology. And I suspect that, we'll continue to have to find ways of shortening long form text and being more innovative about how we help you with learning that particular concept, or being able to understand something, because being very visual, young people today really want to be able to see how something happens, and they only want it to take between 30 seconds and 2 minutes, right? They don't want to sit and listen for an hour. They just want to be able to, understand something really quickly. And that, for a technology company, means we've got to do more to invest in, that immediate, that high impact, that engaging, interesting way of being able to surface that content. So we're going to be doing more of that, I'm sure.
Thank you, Amanda, for sharing. And I'm really glad that you listen to our users and also to the librarians. It's really important to collaborate and to innovate together. But I want to use this space for remember you that we have a book donation campaign. This is a campaign called Donate a Book and Change a Mind, and only books with the following characteristics will be received. So it's going to be received only the books that are preserved in good condition, without annotations, stamps, or anything similar. They're not going to be received if they're badly bound or if they're photocopies. And if the book you want to donate meets all these characteristics, then you can donate any day. That means that this campaign has no deadline, and you can check all the information we have available on our social media and for this book donating campaign so you can help to promote reading and learning inside and outside our community. So we are going to go to a short break on the radio, but I wanted to remind you guys that we have this campaign available so you don't miss it at any way. And before we go to this short break on the radio, I want to congrats Amanda and her amazing job with Mcgraw-Hill that has been with us since we were little until we are these amazing young adults in an adult world who's always getting this information by the amazing Anáhuac community, because as Amanda said, this is already on the library. So you can look it up at this digital library that we have. So we're going to continue with more that this Mcgraw-Hill does in Latin America. But first, we're going to take a short break on the radio, but we're going to still with you on our Facebook Live.
So we're back from this short cut that Tana has told us. And now we want to get to know more about Amanda. We have talked about Mcgraw-Hill and everything that has been going through all the changes, the technology. But we want to know, Amanda, when did you decide to join this company and why did you choose to stay with this team for so many years?
Oh, well, I wanted to join Mcgraw-Hill because it's such a fabulous company and it's global. And I wanted to really learn about how education and how that is done around the world. And I really wanted to make an impact by really helping the company work through its transformation to being more digital and to provide more digitally enabled products, because that's my background. And I've stayed because there's still so much to do. There is a lot that we need to continue to do. And it's a very lovely company. It has a very nice culture and people are very genuine and very kind. They are totally focused on helping students and teachers in education. And it's something that's sort of in the heart. It's like a purpose. You know, we're doing it because we really believe in the power of education, because the power of education unlocks the ability to live a successful life, right? The more education a young person or even an adult can have, the more they grow and the more opportunities present themselves to them to live a better life, to provide for their family, to build their community, and to really go on and have a very fulfilling career. And these are all fantastic things that happen as a result of brilliant educators, great institutions of learning, and companies like Mcgraw-Hill who work very, very hard to make sure the materials that support that are absolutely top class and high quality. So I stay with Mcgraw-Hill because of all of those reasons. It is a really lovely place to have a career.
I imagine, Amanda, and I congratulate you for that. So we know that you lead a really huge team. So what it's like to lead a team of more than 50 people across the 5 international regions? How challenging are these region differences for you?
Oh, that's really interesting. And I'm learning a lot. Every day, really, I learn. So yes, it can be very challenging. I have teams of people all over the world. So I have a marketing organization. So I have marketing people, digital marketing people, designers, copywriters, campaign people doing campaigns to promote engagement with students through social media channels, through email, through everything. So I have a marketing team that's all over the world. And I have a sales organization who work with, people like Mr. Ricardo to help him understand what we have and how it might be of value to the institution. And they engage directly with institutions worldwide. So the big challenge, I think, for me is time zones, because, I have to work from home. So if I need to speak to my team in Australia, I have to get up quite early in order to get on the phone or Zoom with them in their evening. And if I want to speak to my colleagues in Mexico, I have to make sure that I'm not setting up time to have that conversation when it's 5 a.m. in the morning in Mexico City. So I have to understand what time it is around the world and make sure that, we're all managing to connect and we're all managing to feel like we're part of a team, even though we're spread all around the world on different time zones. So carefully plan how we all get together on Zoom, I make sure that we have games. So yes, we may all be adults, but we all like to enjoy a few games because it's fun to laugh. It's fun to have fun with your colleagues, and it makes relationship building easier. And that's what makes a team work very well. So, I think probably that's been one of the main challenges, is trying to get across many different time zones. But really, I have wonderful insights into wonderful places around the world. And it's a real joy and a real pleasure to learn more about some of those cultures and some of those countries and to visit them. A real privilege to be able to travel to some really far-flung places around the world. It's been great fun.
Amanda, do you know some universities in Mexico?
Yeah, I have been to Mexico, and I believe I may well have stepped foot in Anáhuac University and had a visit there some time ago, maybe 3 years or so ago. And it had been on my agenda to come and spend a good month in Mexico, to spend more time with my regional head of sales, Francisco Guinez, and visit more universities there. But sadly, our global pandemic hit and I've had to postpone it. So that's scheduled for me later next year. And I really look forward to spending more time. And now that I have met you all, I will be sure to come and make a special visit to Anáhuac and to meet you all in person. That would be brilliant.
We are waiting you in the Anáhuac, Mexico.
Oh, thank you so much. I would be delighted.
Yeah, that would be marvelous to have you here in the university, and you can get to know all the spaces that the library is creating and innovating also. And I think it could be a really good visit, and we're really looking forward to it. And talking about what you have been saying of having a group or a team that it's really united and you can have fun, we take this opportunity to say hi to all the ones that are listening. We have a lot of greetings and comments on the Facebook. So we have Cristina, we have Angelica, Isabel, Marta, Tere, Carolina. She says that Mcgraw-Hill has the best books, and we have Noemi. We have Cesar, who says that it's a wonderful interview and it really looks that Amanda loves her job.
Oh, that's great feedback. And yes, we have the best books. Yes, I'm going to say that, aren't I? Fantastic. Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed having this conversation with you. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been great, but we still have some minutes more. So we want to know what is going to be the future for Mcgraw-Hill in Latin America, but also for Anáhuac University. What do you expect, Amanda, that it's going to happen between this relationship with Mcgraw-Hill and the university?
Yes. Oh, I hope that our relationship with your university continues to thrive and to grow. We have a great partnership at the moment, and I can only see that getting better. As I mentioned, you're already piloting one of our new products. I would really hope that we can continue to do that sort of work with Anáhuac. So as we bring out new products, it would be great to have your institution help us with that. And I know we will be bringing out more products, and we will. Our strategy for Mexico and for the Latin America region is to continue to ensure that we provide materials that are, in local languages as well as in English, so that we're not trying to sort of always force fit education resources that are in English, when actually to make it fully accessible to all of your students, whatever their age group and whichever sector of education. It's important that we continue to ensure that high quality education resources are properly converted into local languages. So we'll do a lot more of that as time goes on. But as I said, I suspect we'll be doing more in the mobile friendly world in terms of technology. So, watch this space.
Thank you, Amanda. And we're looking forward to have this partnership to last for more and more and more years with Mcgraw-Hill. But now let's get a little personal. I want to make this question a little bit personal. Amanda, you as Vice President right now, how do you see yourself in 10 years? Would you be still in Mcgraw-Hill? Maybe not, maybe yes, but doing more huge things coming up, How do you see yourself?
Oh, that's a really great question. How do I answer that? I suspect my boss will have something to say about what will happen over the course of the next 10 years in my career. So I have to work very hard and I have to do a good job in order to, keep him happy and keep myself employed. I work for the president of McGraw-Hill's professional business. He's a very important person. He's also a very clever person who's been in McGraw-Hill for 25 years. And many people who work in McGraw-Hill have worked there for many years because it's that sort of company. Once you join, you don't really want to leave. It's the best at what it does. And you want to work for the company that's the most well-known and the best at what it does. And that's why I don't see myself being anywhere other than McGraw-Hill. It is a great place to work. And, being vice president comes with a lot of responsibilities. I have responsibilities to business to make sure that, we operate successfully. I have responsibilities to all of my staff and my team. And I'm very, very keen on making sure that, the young people that we have within our organization, we have a way of being able to develop their careers, and so that they can move and they can progress within their career within McGraw-Hill. And, it's down to me to enable that to happen. And it's very important that we recruit new people in our organization, because they bring with them fresh ideas, new perspectives, and I'm very keen on young people being given the opportunity to join very successful organizations like McGraw-Hill as well. So I work very hard to support the development of women in their careers, and to make sure that they have opportunities to grow and expand and accelerate their journey, regardless of whether they decide to have a family or to take a career break. I'm very encouraging of women in the workplace as well. So the next 10 years will be more of the same, I think, more of doing all of that.
Well, it's a long path, but I'm sure that you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot. And hopefully the Anáhuac University is going to be there from having this partnership and getting to know what Amanda and Mcgraw-Hill doing in the future. We're almost finishing this wonderful interview, but we want to leave you the mic open so you can share or give a message to all the ones that are listening in the radio and this 1670 AM and on Facebook Live. What should they use Mcgraw-Hill? What is the advantage of using, and something you want to leave for the ones that are listening?
Oh, well, thank you for this opportunity to speak directly to all of your listeners. What can I say? The world is in your hands. Your education is very much in your own hands now. Your instructors, companies like Mcgraw-Hill are just guides along your own unique path to learning. And you can choose. You have the choice. I don't think that there is, one set of resources that necessarily is going to be the best versus something else. You will get something from whatever resources your library has to offer, because it's all going to support your learning. But one thing I can say is that at Mcgraw-Hill, the efficacy, the trustworthiness, the authoritative nature of our content is the most important thing to us. We will never knowingly put forward any learning materials that aren't the very best that they could possibly be. So I think that's how I'd like to leave it, really. But it is in your hands as young people, as learners. Your pathway is unique, and we will just facilitate that in the best way that we possibly can. And good luck. Good luck with your studies, good luck with your learning, and good luck with navigating through these difficult times that we've been in. And good luck with all of your exams when you have them.
Sure, it's amazing because I think the exams are starting on Monday, so it's good advice.
You guys better get ready.
Good luck.
Amanda, thank you for these beautiful wishes. And finally, we're about to end, but there is any social media, webpage, forums where people in general, librarians, universities, can get to know more about Mcgraw-Hill?
Yes, I mean, you just search for Mcgraw-Hill on social media, and you'll find many different social media handles for different parts of Mcgraw-Hill, whether it's a subject or course. But, you know, come to mcgrawhill.com and mcgrawhilleducation.com. And yeah, just search for us. We're out there, we're everywhere, actually. Doesn't take a lot to find us. So yeah, come and visit us. Join us on Facebook as well, and Twitter.
Thank you, Amanda. We're going to make a little post with this information of the social media. And it's time to end this amazing chat. We don't want to, but we have to. So we invite you, everyone that is here on Facebook Live and on the radio, to listen to all the past interviews. And if you missed the beginning of this interview with Amanda Peck, go back to the Facebook Live and listen to it. We thank you, everyone, for being here, and see you on Monday for the last interview of this cycle. And we are going to have an amazing interview too. So don't miss it, and we see you there. Thank you, Tanya. Teacher, if you want to give your final words to Amanda.
Yes, thank you, Samantha. Amanda, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for this incredible interview. We wish you the best for you, your team, for your family, and for Mcgraw-Hill. Thank you so much.
Oh, the pleasure's been mine. It's been a total privilege. And what a wonderful hosts we have. You've done a fabulous job, and your English is brilliant. So congratulations.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you, Amanda. Bye.
Bye.
Gracias por acompañarnos.
Esto fue Bibliohertz,
Te esperamos la próxima semana
para llevarte del libro a la radio.
Every breath you take